Welcome back to the Fox Robbins Business Show. Great to have you back. We have an excellent episode tonight that you're going to enjoy very much with Bob Jenkins, and we'll get to that in a minute. But this show is all about developing your best business ideas. And this show is all about encouraging existing businesses, upgrading and modernizing and improving, or the starting up of new businesses, all aimed at providing long-term, interesting, and higher-paying careers for young people here in Southeast Massachusetts. And I am the host of the show. I'm Bill Fox, and our co-host is none other than the inimitable Cliff Robbins.
How are you, Bill?
I've gotten used to referring to him as the coach. I consider him my coach. I mean, in the Belichick.
Thank you. I was concerned that it was the Cheers, the Ernie Pantuso coach.
Cheers, yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show, and we're going to. We have such good content tonight, and a lot to talk about with Bob Jenkins. We're going to get right along into the regular feature of this show that opens all of our episodes, which is called Cliff's Notes. And we take advantage of Cliff's wide knowledge of the business scene in New England. And Cliff, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, tonight, Bill, I'm going to talk about brand identity. You notice that Cliff's Notes, that little thing that we put, in this segment?
Yes.
I hate to admit it, but I didn't create that. I stole it. At any rate, yeah, I'd like to talk about brand identity. Our guest tonight is a very interesting guest, and I talk a lot about brand identity and the power of brand identity and the creation of a brand identity. Brand identity certainly is a lot more than just a logo, and we'll get into some of that stuff tonight, but certainly the most recognizable thing about a brand is the logo, and there you have a Nike logo, which you see constantly everywhere, one of the world's largest clothing companies. There you see a Dunkin' Donuts sign. Now, I tell the story of sitting in a conference room in Boston with a company who had a brand identity crisis, and I looked out the window, and I said, about a mile away or so, I said, there's a sign hanging off that building. Can you folks read that sign? And they said, no. I said, well, what is it? He says, it's a Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, didn't have to read it. You could see clearly, the colors, and it's in our mind's eye. Well, that's a Dunkin' Donuts sign. Polo, if you were wearing your polo shirt instead of our logo, immediately you know that's a very high quality shirt made of cotton, very expensive, unless you get it at a discount store. And you know exactly what that brand is, what that identity represents, what that logo represents, excuse me. Do you know what the world's most valuable brand is, Mr. Bill? Of course you do, because you were here when we rehearsed, right?
Right.
Well, don't tell them, okay? This is a test, folks, all right? If we had the right to use this brand, I could get us $100 billion worth of investment to start a company, even if we didn't have a product, because this brand that I'm going to show you is considered the world's most valuable brand. If you're in Hong Kong, in Hawaii, Honolulu, or Hamburg, Germany, if you show this brand to somebody in this world, the minute they see it, they know exactly what it is. And what is it? It's Coca-Cola. You see that brand anywhere in the world, and you show that to anybody in the world, and they immediately know exactly everything about what that company sells. And that's brand identity at its highest form. I just want to mention tonight that brand identity is all about creating value for your company. It's all about creating loyalty from your customers. It's all about the experience your customer is going to get when that customer does business with you. And that's why a brand like Polo, like Nike, and certainly like Coca-Cola, which again is the world's most valuable brand, is a very valuable thing. It's probably the most valuable commodity item that your company is going to build over its lifetime. And we're going to talk to somebody tonight that right here on Cape Cod is creating a brand identity for his company. And I think you'll find the show very, very interesting.
Right, and we're going to, I mentioned earlier in the show that we're going to welcome a guest tonight. Gentleman's name is Bob Jenkins, and he is the CEO, he's the founder and CEO of Local Hooker Rods.
What'd you call it?
Local Hooker.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, he's going to explain all of that. But and Bob says he's from Connecticut, but he summered on Cape Cod. I did myself. That's why I was introduced to Cape Cod. So does that make me a wash ashore?
We're all wash ashore.
Yeah, wash ashore. Right.
I washed ashore 27 years ago, but I'm still washing.
Bob knows Cape Cod. He summered here. He went to Wilbraham Academy. He was 4 years in the Marine Corps. And then he went to Northeastern University and studied in communications, speaking of communications. And he also worked for high-profile employers such as Polaroid and American Express.
I've heard of those brands.
And all of those in their day were a business startup at one point, were they not?
Everybody was.
Everybody was.
Got to start someplace.
Surprisingly, and we just found out about this, is that Bob was in the World Trade Center at in 9/11 and managed to escape and walk down from the building 39 stories. So there's another story within a story. But after 9/11, Bob says he decided to start his own company, and took the plunge. And that's what we're going to talk to him about tonight, is what that jumping in that swimming pool was all about.
Absolutely, and the courage it took.
And he created Local Hooker Rods, fishing rods, because he had a new vision for fishing rods.
Right.
And we're going to ask him about that. So don't go away. We're going to bring Bob in and let him talk to you about his experiences. At this point, it's no fair. No surfing and no running for the fridge. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in a second. Thank you.